Welcome back to a Master and Apprentice podcast. Getting right into it, Part 3 Kenobi dropped. Surprised me. I forgot it was a Wednesday release. I was expecting it on Friday. This is why it's so late coming up. But it came out on Wednesday, and we'll go right into our reviews, and then we'll kind of break it down in a minute. This is a 9.5 for me, and here's why it's a 9.5. The reason it's not a 10 is because I don't know how they're going to do Kenobi throughout the rest of the series. If they're going to keep him weak, I can't have this a 10 for me because Kenobi can't be weak through the whole series. So it's kind of like an unknown for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if
It
not,
could be a 10 if they do. Yeah.
if he gets better throughout the series, this episode becomes a 10 for me.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, this is an amazing episode. I love the way they did Vader. Hayden Christensen has played Vader perfectly. Kenobi has played Kenobi perfectly. This is just a really well done series. Everything so far I've loved. They kind of have put the Inquisitors as a background characters. Like they don't really matter. They kind of matter, but don't really. And that's good because right now I don't even really care about the Inquisitors. If I'm being perfectly honest. I only care about Kenobi and Vader, and that's what we got this episode, and it was amazing. I loved it. And you got anything? What do you think of the episode after?
I'm putting it at a 9. There's one little thing I don't love about it. Whenever spoiler alert, by the way, watch the episode before you watch this. Whenever Vader was beating the absolute crap out of Kenobi, then he just let him go. It's not a plot hole. It just confused me as to why he let him go. I mean, he just was shown setting the fire out a second ago. He could have easily just not let Kenobi go, but he decided to, and that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Maybe we'll figure it out later. I don't love that part, but I guess I get it. I loved every little bit of the episode other than that. Leia annoys me a little bit, but that's because she's a 10-year-old and supposed to annoy everyone, right?
Yeah, I like Leia. I think she's a very well done character.
Mm-hmm.
When we heard the leak of Leia being in this, I thought, oh, this could really, people didn't really like Solo because they didn't like how he was portrayed, right, by a different actor, and they didn't want that to ruin him.
Yeah.
Ruin Han Solo in the original trilogy. I think they've done a very well job with Leia so far. I like it.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, Leia, it just, the only thing that bugs me about her is she's either completely stupid or she's a fucking genius. There's no middle ground.
She's like that in the original trilogy, though. She's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
She's also
I guess so, yeah. She'll completely fall into a trap, but then she'll completely get out of it. It's 50-50. So I guess it checks out. I guess it makes sense. But It's just funny seeing someone have a perfect excuse to stormtroopers about where they are, and then she runs away whenever she runs away from Obi-Wan or something dumb like that. I don't remember what else she did stupid, but she just doesn't know stupid. But
yeah. Kind of breaking it down, we start off where we left off. Kenobi and Leia escaping. We see some of the shots that we saw from the remember the what's it called? The leaked
the leaked snapshots, whatever it is, pictures.
Concept art where we see Vader at his desk talking to a hologram. We thought it would be Palpatine, but right now we see in the episode that he's talking to Reva. So that's kind of cool. We get to see that concept art played out. We see him put together, which is just a badass scene. And kind of, I forget what planet they're on. Insert here what planet they're on. But they're kind of on there for a while. It's kind of not boring, but it's just filler. Just them talking, which is good. You kind of need that stuff for how long these episodes are.
Yeah.
And it's cool to him have PTSD just thinking about Anakin being alive. He sees young Anakin in the field for a second, and it spooks him, and that was kind of a cool shot. It's cool to see that Reva is put in her place by Vader as well. I don't know if this is before or after that scene, but when she talks to him, she knows that he's her master. Everyone's very afraid of Vader, and later in the episode, we actually see why they're so afraid of him. So yeah, we go to the stormtroopers are trying to interrogate them. Then this girl comes out of nowhere and saves them, saves Kenobi and Leia. out of nowhere, but we were kind of expecting that. Otherwise, what was going to happen with Kenobi? We knew something was going to happen where he gets saved. It was cool to see once she brings him back to their little hideout. It's cool to see something about Quinlan Voss. That's a character we have not really any canon on. In the legends, we hear him die in the Lords of the Sith, or no, it's the Darth Vader book. Something I forget. One of the Legends Darth Vader books. We hear that Quinlan Voss dies on Kashyyyk with the Minara and Yoda, but it's cool to see that in this he's actually alive up to this point. So
Yeah, and I
it'd
mean,
be
we saw a
very.
little bit about him in the Clone Wars, but not much.
I don't know if I've read the Dark Disciple book, which is about Quinlan Voss and Asajj Ventress, and that's probably my favorite book up to date. I am enjoying the Brotherhood book a lot, but the Quinlan Voss book or the Dark Disciple book, whatever, is a very good book. So that gives a lot of. That's why people are a big fan of Quinlan Voss, is because of that book, in my opinion. Because you don't see a lot of him in Clone Wars. When you do, he's pretty awesome. He's kind of like a washed down version of Anakin. He's very arrogant in some ways, but
Yeah, it doesn't exactly follow the rules and all that, but
he's still a good Jedi.
yeah,
So yeah, it's cool to see that he's alive, and it's cool to see we get some more canon on him. It's been a while because we didn't really know what happened to him. We all kind of figured he died because we just hadn't had any mentions of him, but we were like, maybe he could be alive. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
now we know he's alive. I mean, maybe he dies in this show or something or later on, but it's cool to see he's alive. So we're gonna be seeing him eventually, which is freaking awesome. And then we get to the Vader scene, and this is the best scene that Disney has put together, probably since the Rogue One scene when we see Vader. The Rogue One scene where we see Vader in the hallway is one of the best scenes that Disney has put together. It's like horrifying because we see Vader in A New Hope where everyone's scared of him, but we don't really know why, because we just see him for glimpses. We see him choke people, and we're like, oh, that's kind of scary. But people are even more scared of him than that. They're like, that's not the worst he does to us. And then we see Anakin in the Clone Wars, and Revenge of the Sith. We don't really get too much of why is he so scary. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And we kind of see a glimpse of it in Rogue One, but it's like one scene. And I have a feeling we're going to see more of it. But this Kenobi scene is literally something out of a horror movie, and it is so well done. Hayden Christensen
yeah,
did an excellent job. I believe that's Hayden Christensen who is in that suit. I could be wrong. I don't think we know for sure, but I believe it is Hayden Christensen in that suit. And it is. I know he doesn't write the lines; he just acts it. But he did a very well job, at least acting it. And Deborah Chow did a great job. I don't know if she's the writer or just the director, but whoever wrote it did a very well job on this. It was very well done. But then it gets to Kenobi versus Vader. We're kind of skipping along quick, but just to give a breakdown. This is kind of where I start to have problems. I don't know, because it kind of breaks canon of every time that Kenobi sees Vader, he gets his butt whipped, because in A New Hope, Vader says very clearly, the last time we met, you were but the master, but I was but the learner.
yeah,
So the last time they see him, he can't really be that pussy. You know what I mean? So I really hope.
yeah. Which I mean, I honestly think that
We see
I
some
think that
progression on
Obi-Wan
him.
completely fails at the beginning. Maybe they have an interaction in the middle, but I feel like at the end they're gonna have some kind of an interaction, maybe a duel again. Who knows? But Obi-Wan, it seems like he just threw away everything Jedi-wise. Like hardly remembered anything. Uses the Force just as a remembering what it was, but tries to throw away everything. Whenever he told that other Jedi to just forget about the Jedi Code and all that, that really showed me how it just seemed like Obi-Wan just gave up. And I
Well, that's
mean,
what I'm saying. Because A New Hope comes around, and he's ready to teach Luke. Like, he's been waiting for Luke this whole time. So I really hope we see some progression on him. Like, he's like, okay, I can't forsake the Jedi way all completely.
yeah,
Otherwise, I don't like how weak he is, and it's gonna ruin it for me in this scene. But we don't know what's gonna happen with Kenobi. You know what I mean? So that's why it's at 9.5. Otherwise, this is a perfect episode. This is beautiful. This is beautiful Star Wars. I just love it. It's well done. Everything about it. It's a good cliffhanger with Reva taking Leia, or at least that's what I'm thinking is gonna happen, unless we have another
Leia,
chase scene with
sure.
Leia. Yeah, but we shall see. Anyways, I think it's a perfect episode. A 9.5. out of 10. I think this is very well shot. Anything else,
Yeah.
Afton?
I mean, loved the episode. I mean, there wasn't really much that surprised me. Leia, no, I shouldn't say much that surprised me. There was a lot that surprised me. There wasn't really much that stands out now that I go back watching it. Leia is over trusting, as she is in the original trilogy, which I kind of like. She's not completely trusting with like Lando specifically, but I mean, this could be showing the reason why she wasn't. I
Yeah.
mean, it gives a good backstory, not necessarily on, like in the original trilogy, she was like, oh, back when I was 10 years old, blah, blah, blah happened. No, it's more like, hey, here's what I did in the original trilogy, and here's why I acted the way I did. I think they're doing a very good job on doing their homework so far.
I do too. That's
Assuming
something I
that,
love.
yeah.
Well, there we go. This is our breakdown / review of Kenobi. It's a little bit longer. But yeah, this is a very good episode, so it's going to be a little bit longer. I loved it. Athen loved it. It is a very good episode. I'm excited to see how the next one picks up. With that, we will see you guys in the next one. Bye.